First biomolecule is carbohydrates. Its general formula is CxH2O Y. This is the general formula of carbohydrates. So they are regarded as hydrates of carbon. Hydrates of carbon. Okay. Examples: C6H12O6. It's a formula for glucose and fructose. Okay. Another example, C12H22O11. This is sucrose. Okay. This is some of the examples of carbohydrates. Okay. Another example, C6H10O5 N times. It's a formula for cellulose and starch. Okay, but there are certain compounds which do not follow this general formula. For example, rhamnose. Formula for rhamnose is C6H12O5. Okay, this compound do not follow this general formula. Another example, rhamnohexose. Rhamnohexose. Its formula is C7H14O6. This also not following the general formula CxH2O Y times. But there are certain compounds which follow this formula, but they are not carbohydrates. Okay. Examples for such compounds are acetic acid. Acetic acid, CH3COH. We can say that it follows the formula CxH2O Y. But this is not a carbohydrate. So actually we cannot follow for this general formula for all the carbohydrates. So we can explain these carbohydrates as carbohydrates are optically active compounds. They are optically active compounds. Optically active polyhydroxy. Polyhydroxy means they contain more than one OH groups. Okay. Polyhydroxy aldehydes or ketones. Aldehydes or ketones, which means they contain carbonyl groups and CHO groups. Aldehydes contain CHO groups and ketones contains carbonyl groups. So these compounds are optically active polyhydroxy aldehydes or ketones, or they are compounds which yield these compounds, that is polyhydroxy aldehydes or ketones, on hydrolysis. Okay, like this we can explain carbohydrates. We can define carbohydrate as they are optically active polyhydroxy aldehydes or ketones or compounds which yield these units, on hydrolysis. Okay, these units on hydrolysis. Okay. Now, these carbohydrates, some carbohydrates are sweet in taste, so they are called as sugars. Okay, they are sugars. Okay, these carbohydrates are also called as saccharides. Saccharides, which means sugars. Okay, saccharides means sugars. Okay, so carbohydrates are also called as saccharides. Okay. Next is classification of carbohydrates. Classification of carbohydrates. basis of their behavior on hydrolysis, they are divided into 3 groups. First one is monosaccharides. Monosaccharides. Monosaccharides are sugars which cannot be hydrolyzed into smaller molecules. They are sugars which cannot be hydrolyzed into smaller molecules. Okay? Or these monosaccharides cannot be break down into smaller units. Okay? There are almost 20 monosaccharides are known. 20 monosaccharides are known. Example, glucose, C6H12O6, fructose, same formula, C6H12O6. Okay, these are some examples of monosaccharides. Second one is oligosaccharides. Oligosaccharides. These are sugars which yield 2 to 10 monosaccharides. Okay, which yield 2 to 10 monosaccharides. Okay, monosaccharide units. Monosaccharide units on hydrolysis. Okay. So, these compounds on hydrolysis yields 2 to 10 monosaccharides units. These are again divided into disaccharides, trisaccharides, etc. Among these, disaccharides are the most common. These disaccharides, when hydrolysis, either they yield same compounds or they yield different monosaccharides. Okay. Take some examples. Sucrose, C12H22O11, sucrose. This on hydrolysis gives glucose and fructose. Okay. C6H12O6 is glucose and fructose. Okay. But maltose, C12H22O11, this is maltose. On hydrolysis, they give 2 molecules of glucose. Okay. These are some of the examples of oligosaccharides. Next, third one is polysaccharides. Third one, polysaccharides. Poly. These compounds yields large number of monosaccharide units on hydrolysis. Yields large number of monosaccharide units on hydrolysis. Okay. Examples: starch, cellulose, etc. Starch, cellulose. Okay, these compounds, these polysaccharides are not sweet in smell, and so they are also called as non-sugars. Okay, they are also called as non-sugars. Okay. Next classification is classification based on reducing or non-reducing sugars. Classification based on reducing or non-reducing sugars. Okay. Classification based on reducing or non-reducing sugars. Okay. First, reducing sugars. monosaccharides are reducing sugars. This includes all monosaccharides, okay, and these compounds, these sugars contain free aldehyde or ketone groups, okay. They contain free aldehydes and or ketone, okay, aldehyde or ketone groups. So they give the tests like Fehling solution and tolerance reagent. That is, they reduces Fehling solution and tolerance reagent test. These are the two important tests for aldehydes and ketones. So they reduces Fehling solution and tolerance reagent. Okay. Next, these examples are aldose, ketose, etc. Examples, aldose. Aldose are compounds containing CHO group. Then ketose. Ketose are compounds containing keto groups. Okay. Next is also, this also contains disaccharides also, including this. Certain disaccharides which yield free aldehydes or keto groups are also included in this classification, that is reducing sugar, because they contain free aldehydes and ketones, so they can reduce Fehling solution and tolerance reagents. Disaccharides examples, maltose. Maltose is a reducing sugar, okay, because it contains free aldehydes and ketones. Also, another one is lactose. Okay, these two compounds are in the category reducing sugars. Okay, so next classification is non-reducing sugars. Next one is non-reducing sugars. Okay. These compounds, in disaccharides, if the reducing group of monosaccharides, that is aldehyde or ketonic group, are bonded, such compounds are included in this category. Example, sucrose. So, disaccharides, in disaccharides, if reducing group of monosaccharides, if reducing groups of monosaccharides, because disaccharides contains monosaccharides, so monosaccharides, the reducing groups like ketonic, that is aldehyde or ketonic group, okay, that is aldehydic or ketonic group are bonded together, okay. Such compounds are included in this category, non-reducing sugars. Example is sucrose, okay. Sucrose is an example for non-reducing sugars, okay.